Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another chess analysis video. Today I'm going to be discussing a game I played on the 2nd of February 2023. This is again another game at my chess club. I'm going to go through and analyse it and see what mistakes were made. Okay, so white begins with e4, which is king's pawn, and c5, which is Sicillian. Knight f3 and d6. This is one of the variations of the open, because then white would usually push d4 and then probably trade. That's a variation. But then we have bishop c4, bishop g4, and knight e5. And this might look like a blunder because it looks like it could be taken, but then white just takes the bishop back and it's equal material. However, there was a much better move to play, and it's bishop takes f7 check. And why this is so much better is because it stops black from castling, because he has to either take with the king or move the king out of the way. Taking is better because then you win material. However, you also move the king out of the way, and then you just lost castling rights. Or so king takes f7. Now you look like you're down a bishop, but it's +2 because you're winning. And then knight g5 check, and king goes back to e8, and then queen just takes g4. So then this is again equal material, but white's now up a pawn, because the pawn on f3 is now gone. And white's got a powerful attack on the f3 square, f7 square, and then possibly the development as well. But these pieces are still not developed, and white can castle still. That's one variation that could have happened. And what we have is d takes e5, queen takes g4, knight f6, getting a tempo on the queen. Queen goes back to e2 and g6, trying to re-encounter the bishop on g7. And then another variation of this could be knight c6 instead, another developing move. Bishop b5, pinning the knight to the king. Queen b6 and bishop a4, because the queen's attacking the bishop. You can take if you want, but this is recommended by the computer. Just because then you can develop the dark square and possibly the knight as well. So that's another variation that could happen. But back to our game, we have and we have g6. Knight c3 is played, bishop g7, re-encounter bishop, d3 and castles kingside. Bishop e3 attacking the pawn. Black guards it by queen b6 and attacks this pawn on b2. However, this is kind of, I would say, a false threat, because you can't really take it, because it looks like it's not defended, but your queen actually gets trapped, which I'll show you on after the castles at knight c6. This is +1. This is +1 for white. Yeah, because white's just taken. White hasn't taken a pawn. Black's got this double pawn here. Yeah, so you have 2 pawns on one file with double pawns. And if the queen were to take, instead of knight c6, white would go knight to b5, a6, rook ab1. Sorry, and then queen would have to take the rook on b1, and the rook takes b1, which is now black down a queen for a rook. But then black takes on b5, and it's rook takes b5, knight c6. And then this situation would probably happen where you would have two bishops and a rook and a queen for 2 rooks and 3 minor pieces. So then we can cancel them out. We've got a rook for a rook and a bishop for a bishop and a minor piece for a minor piece. You get about roughly equal. But black's going to be losing. It's +5 here, just because white. This queen is very powerful. Okay, so instead of that we have queen d2, lining up a nice attack on the h6 square. This is an idea to get the v-encoded bishop off of g7. Rook a8 and knight a4, attacking the queen. This can be played. Queen can go back to c6, so this was played. Knight takes c5. Sorry, queen to c7. That's queen to c7, and b6 attacking knight. However, that was kind of a mistake. Yeah, the computer recommends moves such as knight a5 or knight d4, just developing the knight to a more active square, and not really caring because there's not really a threat here. Because I'm not threatening to take, because you can just take back, so there's no threat. So instead, black pushes, trying to get the knight away, and knight a6 attacking the queen, and queen to b7. Again, black can't take because it's defended. We have f3, knight d7. Possibly black wants to open the bishop up and reroute the knight, possibly to c5. It looks like only possible option at the moment, but you could probably open up and get it out here somewhere and attack the bishop if you push the pawn. Knight b4, knight d4. You could also take here if you wanted. It doesn't really matter. White would just take back. So again, it's not really. It doesn't really matter in this case. Knight d4, bishop d5, attacking the queen, and queen back to c8. Now getting the queen on the open file. Bishop takes d4, and e takes d4. Yeah, this this was played. I was white in this case. Yeah, so I forgot to mention that at the beginning. I was white, and my opponent was black. And again, this was same time control as the other ones. What I could have played here was c3, attacking the knight with a pawn. Black has not really any good squares to go to. I mean, I guess you can go there, but yeah, I mean, yeah, this just puts the knight on a less active square. So instead, black counter attack with a5, and after takes, and bishop to g5. Yeah, white's still winning. Okay, so instead we have the trade on d4, and now knight c6, attacking the pawn and attacking the rook. And actually it's a triple fork because you attack here, and you attack here. Black can't take again because it's defended. Rook d8. The computer, what I find quite interesting is if you take a look here, the computer suggests rook instead of rook d to e8, rook f to e8, sacrificing the rook for a knight, which is very odd. But then you open, and it's a very weird line. I am not going to show you because I mean I could show you. Why not? Let's show you. So after rook, what is this? Rook f e8, knight takes, and then rook takes back. And this, I mean, you would imagine it was something like this, where now it's a rook for a knight, and a couple of weaknesses. Yeah, but it's still losing anyway. Rook d8, and queen and knight takes a7. I couldn't have taken here because of the bishop. Queen c5 was played. Queen a6 is also possible in this case. b4 attacking the queen, queen back to c7 attacking the knight, and knight to b5. I'm turning the engine off so you don't see all the recommendations. You can play through this yourself and see what moves could be made better for black. This is now +4, so basically white's up for 4.3 points of material. After knight b5 attacking the queen, you have queen b8 and f4. Yeah, just trying to push on the king side. Yeah, trying to create a pawn storm. Bishop h6, trying to pin the pawn to the queen. And d3. Now we want to black wants to attack the centre, so we have e5 and queen e2. What would have been better in this case was queen g2, defending your pawn and getting the queen out of the pin. And then black would have just played something like knight f5, knight f6. So in this case, black takes on f4, and white plays queen to g4, attacking the knight. Knight f6, attacking the queen. Queen to h4. Now it's a fork. And this is really interesting about this fork, is it looks quite, it is quite powerful. It's +2 for white, and you can defend it, but it's not that good of a defense. All your pieces are all stuck behind this like pawn structure. Okay, so knight takes d5, yeah, makes sense, and e takes d5, yeah, makes sense again. We have f takes g3 and queen takes h6. Now, queen takes g3 is possible, except it's actually better for black in this case, because black does trade. Black doesn't even need to trade. Black can go queen d8 and just start attacking the pawns, and or black could trade and then get a really active bishop and active rook. Okay, so, and that wasn't played in this case. Rook e2 was played, and here's another kind of inaccuracy for white. White plays queen g5, and now what would have been better is queen f4, because after queen f4, it's attacking this pawn, and you kind of forcing a trade of queens. Yeah, because otherwise you're also attacking this pawn, so you'd lose a pawn otherwise. So yeah, after queen takes, rook takes, and then rook d8. Yeah, it would have been played something like this. This would have possibly been another variation. Back to the game. After queen takes on h6, we have rook to e2, queen to g5, and rook takes h2. So rook taking h2, yeah, that's possible. Let's see what the engine recommends. Engine does recommend it. You wouldn't take with the pawn. Yeah, because you can just move the king out of the way. Or, I mean, you can't take it because it's defended by the rook. Rook takes looks better. But look, if you look at the position, and you see, yeah, white's now up a knight, because I took the bishop, and there was no compensation for this. So at the moment, white's up a knight. So it's +3, +3.8, and then after rook takes h2, I played white plays knight takes d4, and in this case g2 was played. This loses a pawn or a rook, depending on. Well, this doesn't really. I mean, white has this attacking the rook a second time, and then once you move the rook, white just takes. Yeah, so the pawn's attacking the rook, so you have to move the rook fe1, and rook h1 check. In this case, king takes g2, and queen h2 check. And what's interesting in this position, it's +5 for white, because there's no strength behind this attack. White can just move out of the way. +5.1, and black could trade, but then it leads to a really inactive rook versus an active rook, and it's actually it's much better for white in that case. Instead, you have queen h3 check, queen g3, +3.5, queen h1 check, and now find the worst move in this position, queen g4. I mean, it looks sensible if you look at it. We're blocking the check. Yeah, it's -6 for black, so now black's winning. And the correct move to play here is king g2 attacking the rook, and queen takes d5 check, because you're defending the rook through the king, and then you just defend with the knight. rook h5, rook e3, getting the pieces more active. Rook h5, rook f1. This is +5. Or possibly even a4, queen a8, and c4, just getting a pawn strong attack on the queen side as well. Yeah, no. Queen g4, and this is a blunder because it loses the queen. After rook h3 check. Look at all the possible places white can go. White can go to e4 or f4, or e2, f2, g2. However, none of these work because if white goes to either of these two, the rook goes here with a pin on the queen, and then white has to take back, and it's lost the queen. So it's a rook and a knight for a queen. And if white goes to one of these ones, white just loses the queen. So that's even worse. White plays king e4. King f4 is also possible in this case. Rook h4, attacking the queen, and basically getting a really strong rook. Queen takes on h4, queen takes h4 check, and queen takes h4 check, and this is where white resigns in this case. I'm going to show you a continuation of the game just to see how it will play out. If you take a look at the position, white has 4 pawns. Black has 4 pawns, a rook and a queen, which is 18. White has 2 knights, 2 rooks, a knight, and 5 pawns, which also gives 18. However, it's not equal material. It's still -6 because after you move the king, either to e3 or e5 or possibly even f3. There's rook e8 check, and since it attacks the king, it can also attack the rook as well. What happens is you actually end up losing the knight because the king has to move away from the knight, and you lose the knight. So king d2, rook takes e1, rook takes e1, and queen takes d4, and then you just hunt the pawns. After c4, queen b2 check, king d1, queen takes b4, rook e4, queen a3, queen c2, queen takes a2 check, queen c3, queen a3 check, king d2, king b2 check, and king d1. Something like this. It's -8 for black, so black's definitely won. You just hunt the pawns and you win, because then you can just get some passed pawns here. White does have passed pawns, but they can be really easily stopped by you just block the king, and then they can't. You can't push them. Can't for this one because this one's being attacked, and pushing this one will allow a this is just a lost position. I mean, you can even play something like this maybe. Attacks the rook, attacks the pawn, and then if the rook moves somewhere, you can just give a check, and then you probably win the rook. That's pretty much a lost endgame. Yeah. So after queen takes, that was the resignation, because this is just lost. And it's amazing how bad it gets. In this position, it's even mate in 5. If you can find mate in 5, let's see what the computer says. Mate in 5. So queen takes, king to e5, queen g3 check, forking the king and the rook, but this rook's protected, so you don't take it. And if king back to e4, mate in 1, because the rook comes up to h4 with checkmate. Checkmate. And if king goes to f6, if king goes to f6, then there's queen to d6 check, and then you can block it. Yeah, blocking's possible. So this is possible. Rook g3 check, and then either of these is mate in one. Queen f4 checkmate possible. If white goes to here, checkmate. So let's see the other possibilities. If white blocks, there is rook e6 check, and then white goes here, here, and checkmate. And if white blocks with the rook, it's kind of the same idea, but now this square is undefended. So after f takes e6, and then his king's been now in check because this is discovered check on the king. So after this is discovered check with the rook. King has to go there, and queen to g3 checkmate. So that's possible possible ways to checkmate in this position. So I was actually quite lucky that my opponent didn't find that. But it's still it's still a loss. Yeah, but otherwise, yeah, up to this point, I was playing really well. Just this blunder maybe just lose the game. So this is a very good example of how you should take a bit more time to just think, because this looks really natural, just defending the check. You need to look for how the opponent can check you. Because yeah, in this case it was so powerful. Yeah, okay. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the game of me completely winning and losing the game. As they say, you snap defeat from the hands of victory, or what they say. Yeah, so that was a fun game. I hope to catch you in the next game. Probably I'm going to record one after my February break because I'm on holiday. So yeah, and I hope you enjoyed. Have fun. Bye.